Hello Scorpio, Scorpio Rising and Scorpio Moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card horoscope for the week starting June 26th, 2017. And quick reminder, and then followed, well actually let's get the apology out of the way. If you hear talking, I've got a really loud neighbor. He's the type of person who holds like the phone this close to his mouth and still shouts into it. So if you hear that, I apologize. But I did want to make a quick announcement and a quick reminder for everyone. Remember that the Tarot Home Study course is actually going to be available for sale on the 1st of July, and this is the last week of the pre-sale discount. And if you'd like to go and pre-order your download, you can do that at my website, integrativemysticism.com, and again, save some money, but you gotta do it by the 1st of July. And you can do so at my website, integrativemysticism.com, or just follow the links below. So what is going on with your astrology this week? Well, on Monday we've got Mars, planet of action and energy, in your 9th house of higher education, travel, as well as broadcasting, long distance, business ventures, your education, all of those good things, forming a lovely connection to Neptune, currently retrograde in your 5th house of love and romance. And this is a wonderful thing for a lot of you who are looking for love, because you may actually find love through some kind of activity that a friend is involved in, whether it's an academic activity, a spiritual activity, or community, or possibly even on a trip. There may be something going on where a bridge is being made between you and a potential lover, and something will be revealed, because whenever we have Neptune retrograde, a secret is being revealed about that situation. And it does seem to be working out for us, thanks to a harmonious trine. Later on the week, on Thursday, we've got Mercury in that 9th house of everything, it seems. 9th houses tend to be, the 9th house is one of those ones that doesn't know what it wants to be, forming an opposition to Pluto, currently retrograde in your 3rd house of communications. And a message from somebody you have not spoken to in a very long time may make you feel very uncomfortable. And I'm not trying to be vague about this on purpose, but with Mercury in the 9th house of travel, higher education, all of those things, forming an opposition here, this could be somebody that we've distanced ourselves from quite considerably. And with Pluto retrograde in the 3rd house, this could be an old friend, an old contact, an old collaborator, or possibly even a sibling or a cousin. And there could be some kind of clash that doesn't have to be there. Now, I'm not sure what they're necessarily reaching out to you for. It may be for some, there may be a temptation to try and go back there for whatever reason, but it may not be something you want to re-involve yourself with. So what is going on with your cards this week? Well, for your spiritual advice, we do have the card of Elf-Struck. Alright, the card that talks a lot about paying attention when all that glitters is not gold. And this can indicate a situation where you have to pay attention to where people might be trying to sell you on ideas, on prospects, on opportunities that are not all they're cracked up to be this week. And this can indicate intangible things such as friendships and relationships as well. Because the thing with the Elf-Struck card is that you have to pay attention to where the hardest sell, the most aggressive sell, the biggest hustler kind of move is clearly covering up for something that is probably actually pretty cheap. And with the, it's not that the person in the picture here is cheap, it's just that maybe what they're putting out there, as far as whether or not it's actually something good for you, something actually that you really need in your life, something that actually matters, is not necessarily what you really need. Don't let yourself be convinced that this is absolutely necessary for you, is the message of the card. And, be careful, because that pressure will be there. We get that pressure all the time. That's how media can work. That's how hardcore advertising can work. That's how all of those things work. So don't let that get too stuck in your head this week, because again, a lot of people will be making those hard sells. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and your finances, we've got the 7 of Pentacles reversed. And this is actually, honestly, I don't see this as a bad card, because usually when I see this, even when doing readings for myself or doing readings for others, there's something being cleared, there's something being released. Now, whether it's a financial obligation or a work obligation that you don't want to have anymore, it is going to have you have a chance to get that off the table. whether we're finally paying off a credit card, or we're finally saying goodbye to a troublesome customer, or finally letting go of a situation that we don't want to be committed to at work, possibly even putting in our 2 weeks, you're going to see your window this week. Now, the Seven of Pentacles reversed can indicate also a need to pay attention to where trust in that risk is necessary. You may not be thinking it's a safe space to do that, or it's a prudent time to be making such rushed decisions or making such final calls, especially if you come to count on this position or the situation to be a place of security. So obviously look at your rising sign to get more clarity on the situation. You don't have to dump it all right now, but you will notice a replacement creeping up for this thing later on next week, especially as the astrology starts to shift with a full moon in your Pacts and Promises area. So there is going to be an opportunity to segue anyway, and you're just going to have to learn to be ready to let something go. For your communications with air, when it comes to your friends, your relatives, and the others in your life, we've got the Queen of Cups reversed. Now, this week I'm worried that this week might get a little derailed by somebody who is sort of her own worst enemy. The Queen of Cups reversed can often indicate a situation where a person prone to self-sabotage may be asking you to clean up a mess that they're still making. How can you actually, how can you possibly, put back together, say, a house where, while somebody's tearing it down on the other side? And the Queen of Cups reversed can indicate a friend or a relative who's really kind of put their foot in it this week. It's not necessarily like they're doing anything obnoxious or cruel or mean, but what seems to be happening with the Queen of Cups reversed is that overall this person needs some serious tough love to be protected from themselves. They could actually be a water sign like yourself, a Cancer, a Pisces, or a Scorpio, or somebody who just carries a lot of that watery energy to them. But what the Queen of Cups reversed is saying, though, be careful about trying to solve this and fix this yet again, only to have it fall apart yet again. There's a cycle that you can stop here. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the Two of Pentacles reversed. And again, dropping unnecessary priorities, dropping up things that are cluttering up your time and your schedule, finally making commitments to things that work for you, is the base understanding, textbook understanding of this card. But with the Two of Pentacles reversed, I'm seeing for you is basically saying knowing where to make yourself unavailable. Your challenge this week is to make yourself unavailable to certain things, unaccommodating. Not trying to constantly juggle everything and everything just because it's the polite, generous, and considerate thing to do. And the Two of Pentacles reversed is saying your challenge this week may have to do with making sure that you do commit to that, and you don't do it in a half-assed way. Use your whole ass. Because the Two of Pentacles reversed can often show up where, if a person thinks you're just taking a break, that they're going to keep coming back. And that can be, again, we have a cyclical issue, and it's really about getting something that you've been juggling out of your hands for good, for your own good. That's going to be your challenge. And again, making sure you're not allowing yourself or allowing that situation to go on repeat. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we've got the Page of Wands reversed. If you don't want to do something, and you've already agreed to do it, whether it's go on a date, answer somebody's phone call, go and commit to something you really don't want to do with your partner, please don't just bail on them, okay? Because the Page of Wands reversed can indicate a situation where we have some reluctance, some almost like a buyer's remorse when it comes to saying we would be somewhere or do something. That's what I'm getting from this card. And, be careful, Scorpio. Giving somebody a heads up and just letting them know, instead of giving them a maybe until the last minute, is a much kinder thing to do. They may want to deal with the frustration of the fact that you're just not interested, and they'll get over it in, this week, as opposed to having them get over the frustration later on, and again, maybeing them all the way up until that point. The reason I'm saying that is because the Page of Wands reversed can often show up as kind of a flaky card. And you may also find that maybe a partner is also in a similar situation, or a crush is in a similar situation where they've kind of said they're going to do something they really don't want to do, and this is not one of those I'll take a bullet for you situations, but it's turning into a very serious thing even though it's not meant to. Let's just not force people to do things they don't want to do. How about that? And this week that discussion may have to happen, okay? Because again, this isn't like a huge sacrifice or testament of love and adoration and loyalty. This is a little thing that nobody really needs to suffer over, all right? So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session, you can always follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com.